What's up, everybody? Goofy Rexy here to hope everybody's doing well. So today's video, guys, it's actually my first video that I'm going to be doing here as a part of the top 10 collab team. We're going to be talking about Red Stars today, the top 10, Red Star upgrade characters or characters that you should be upgrading with Red Stars here now. So this list is a list that is compiled of 3 different players here. So myself, WolverThor, and then also Yeti. And we're going to be going through that top 10 lists here today. And, curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the video. And actually, just so you guys know, I'm not going to be doing this by myself. I'm actually going to be doing it today with my brother here, WolverThor. What is going on, brother? How are you?
Hey. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. I'm happy to finally collaborate with you. Love the work that you do. Absolutely. Also, guys, we do have some other ones too that you guys should definitely make sure that you do check out. Go check out what did you do? PvP one? Yeah, was it PvP War Arena? So we'll have 1 to 2 videos there, right, depending, how editing and all that goes. But yeah, come check those out. We go through those in some detail there. Yeah, hopefully that'll help you guys out. Yeah,
definitely go check that out. That's going to be on WolverThor's channel, so make sure that you guys check it out. And I was there too, so go check that out also,
That's right,
on his page. But we're going to go to the top 10 Red Star characters here. Like I said, compiled of, all 3 of us and Punks as well. So kind of just spitting it out here. Obviously, I think this is good because, I play the game differently. WolverThor, you play the game differently. Yeti plays the game differently. We're all in different places in the game. So, we do this one big list here. We rank them and then we, spit it out to the audience, to the MSF community here, for you guys to kind of use it and find an effective way of doing it. But yeah, we're doing too much on the intro. Let's go into it. First Red Star, our first Red Star character here that we want to talk about is Taskmaster. So obviously I think, Taskmaster is extremely usable in a lot of different areas. War, PvP, War really kind of the biggest area that you're going to get the best usage out of him when it comes to, the Red Stars. And, we thought that just based on the damage, based on, kind of what he does as a character that, that he was probably, we said top 10, on this list. What are your thoughts on WolverThor?
Yeah, I mean, War is such a critical game mode. Obviously that's where you're probably using them the most, unless you're just an avid PvP player. And as Taskmaster gets higher reds, he makes that team just that much more formidable. So you really want to try to get some good reds on him. I like it. It's not quite 6, but it's darn close. So you want to use at least those silver promos for it. And if you're somebody who's got a lot of golds, then he's up there for you.
Yeah, and if I didn't say this already before, these numbers here, these big old numbers here that you see, those are the numbers that we're saying, that you should upgrade, or that we think, that are warranted in terms of how high you should upgrade Taskmaster here. So 5.7, you can round it up to 6, but that's pretty much basically what our thoughts were here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so next character on the list here is Strife, and obviously, I feel this is an obvious reason. Much like maybe some other characters on this list, having a higher Strife is going to make that Marauders team extremely difficult for you to be able to get through. And the higher Red Stars, the higher health, the higher the barrier, like all that that goes on him and makes him a very difficult character to get through. And it really kind of helps Emma and Sinister to really be as amazing as they are on their team if you can't get through him.
Yeah, no, and that's absolutely the case. I mean, you might question why Strife, what I mean? Yeah. But it's exactly what you said. I'd be repeating it, but if you can't get through him, this team is just going to self-heal the entire time and you just won't do any damage. I mean, there's people, they could be low if somebody already hit them. And then if, you can't get through that Strife or something, everybody's back at full health. So a big Strife definitely helps.
100%. All right, and then coming in at number 8 on this list here is Zemo. And I know probably people may be thinking like, why would he be upgradable? Not like he does, he's not necessarily what you would call a damage dealer per se, in a sense, but Zemo is pretty good. And I would say that you want to number one, probably because of lower health, having a higher Zemo is going to also help him stay alive, things like that too. But, what were your thoughts here, on Zemo being, number 8 on this list?
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit the survivability. To help him survive a little bit more helps a lot. I personally like to use him a bit on more defense to throw him with like a Red Skull type, but even on more offense, for somebody to have a lot more, and granted, he's not like the highest damage dealer per se, but he puts out, some of those percentage increases that he has.
Yeah.
And if he can just stay alive, he can take out some pretty strong teams. So I like him at 8. He's worth some upgrades, and he's not too high, but he's not too low. So I kind of like him falling in there.
Right. All right. And the next on this list here is Emma. And, Emma, I think for different reasons, obviously this makes sense. A higher red Emma, is just going to be really hard to take down. She's already self-healing every single turn. And then on top of that too, the barrier, once again, it's just like looking at all that, encompass into, you want Emma to stay alive. She can literally like 1 versus 3, 1 versus 2 characters.
Yeah, totally.
So if you higher reds on her, it's just make her just that much more difficult.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why she's definitely on this list.
Yeah, I love Emma. She's honestly, like, I pulled a 6 red on her, but I would not hesitate to, promote her to 6 stars. Obviously, a couple of us definitely thought that, but she's a great character.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. All right, and next on this list is Doc Ock. And, this one, we talked about this in your video too, but this one is pretty big because of, once again, it's not just having higher health on him. Obviously, for the heals, the healer ISO, stuff like that, that's going to make a big deal, for him. But, he's also getting the flex and things like that too. And if you have higher reds on him, it makes it even harder to bring down. So, of course, obviously, he's, like I said, he has regular heals in his kit too. So on top of the ISOs that we already talked about. So having higher reds on Doc Ock, makes him a pretty difficult character to take down.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, we talked about this a little bit, but the more sustain on him, it's almost Taskmaster-esque in the fact of how he impacts Taskmaster, that is, mercenaries, is how Doc Ock can, make Sinister 6 that much more formidable. So the stronger he is, the longer he can survive, and the bigger heals he can give out on those blocks. Yeah, they're going to stick around. So I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, 100%. All right, next one, Sinister. Sinister here, I feel like we already know this already. I think everybody knows this already, but this is basically for his clones. This is essentially basically for his clones. It's one of the things that I found a couple months ago that was really nice is being able to have a 6 red. I don't have it, but I've seen a 6 red Ultron. You're like, 6 red Ultron. Oh, he got cloned. Cloned. Yeah. So, it's kind of cool to have that, man. And Sinister, obviously, I think this is 100% for his clones. That's the right size for his clones.
Yeah, I mean, the healing, the additional healing helps there as well. But yeah, a weak clone and, Sinister falls off a little bit. So you need that HP. You need the stronger clones. Otherwise, he's not quite as powerful as he really should be and is capable of.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then next on this list, I mean, he's the massive damage dealer, Black Bolt. I mean, Black Bolt definitely has to be on this list. The damage output is insane. I have 6 reds on my Black Bolt right now, and I absolutely love it. He burps and people die. Just don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and look, I know, it feels like the meta of the game is about to shift a little bit. We'll see. I know some new characters are coming that, frankly, I'm not seeing, making me regret having a 6 red star Black Bolt. So yeah, this guy is still going to be, his damage alone and his passive make it so that you're not going to regret having a high red star Black Bolt, regardless of where you're using them.
Right. All right, and then next on this list is Cole. Similar to, Strife, like we talked about, right? A bigger Strife allows for Emma and Sinister to do damage, you know, with not do damage, but to keep them self-healed and, you know, high health pools and stay alive so that they can do the damage that they need to do and give this team the sustain that they need. Cole, same situation here too as well. You know, Cole, you know, bigger Cole protects small.
Yeah.
You know, bigger Cole is going to, you know, help with making sure that Thanos can get that ult off. Like, you know, the Cole, if you have a small Cole, that team goes down rather quickly. You know, so having a bigger Cole just makes things, you know, that much better.
That's right. Yeah. And I think he's going to stay in the top 5 of this list, at least until Black Order is not, you know, the premier arena team. Once they, you know, there's a counter out there for them that's, you know, makes it so you really don't want to have Black Order on defense, then I'll say, okay, I don't spend credits on him. But until then, you know, he's a top-notch character for all the reasons you said. Absolutely.
All right. And then the next character on this list here, we're actually getting to the end of this list now. We have Symbiote Spider-Man, and this one, you know, for me, I think there's a natural love for Symbiote Spider-Man just because he's my favorite character in the game. So I was just gonna say give 7 reds on him anyways. But there's a lot of benefits to him having 7 reds. Obviously, a higher health pool. More Symbiote Spider-Man low-key does a lot of damage, low-key does good damage. So, you know, having higher red stars on him is going to benefit him, also going to benefit the symbiote team as well. So for a lot of different reasons, you know, I think he's a character that definitely deserves, you know, a 7 red star promotion.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, especially when, you know, we're all talking about Dark Dimension now. Granted, it's got trait requirements, but you know, for anybody who's, you know, maybe in Dark Dimension, the earlier Dark Dimensions that don't have those requirements, that helps having, you know, high reds on them. But as long as the Ultimus raid, which is like I'll call it the premier raid, it doesn't have trait requirements and Scopely don't get any bright ideas. You know, I think that, you know, the symbiotes and Symbiote Spider-Man specifically are always you're gonna want high reds on them.
For sure. And then the next character on this list, the last character on this list is Big T himself, Thanos. Surprise. I mean, damage, massive damage, massive health pool, hard to take down, you know, self-healing with the drain too. So, I mean, it's a lot. You know, you want him to have high reds, a bigger, thick Thanos. Even if Cole is smaller, good luck.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I'm just looking at our overall list, and spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen some of the other videos, but he's number 1 in 3 of the 5 slots that we have, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, that really does kind of, you know, show like this guy's still worth the red. And again, same comment that I made about Cole. Until somebody comes in to change the arena meta, Eternals, spoiler, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. He's gonna be worthy of some pretty good red star upgrades.
Yeah, for sure. So that concludes our list. You know, obviously, like I said, this is, you know, like I said, compiled of all 3 of us together. You know, Punks puts the infographic, makes it look all sexy. You know, so appreciate you for doing that, Punks, as well. But curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, you know, every player is different, right? So curious to hear your comments. So leave that in the comments. And WolverThor, brother, thank you so much for being here. And tell them, where can they find you?
Come check out my YouTube channel. I think just search WolverThor. I don't think there's too many of me out there. I've got my Discord, and you know, I stream a little bit, not as often, but you know, a couple times a week I try to, and that's WolverThor official. And I always post on my Discord if you want to get notifications or anything like that when I'm gonna stream. So that's how you find. And if you really want to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, that's really just sharing more videos. But yeah, Discord's really where you come find me.
All right, dope. But listen, guys, once again, appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Love you guys much. Y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.